Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Gotham episode 21 video. There's only one episode left. That's right, next week is going to be the finale. So I'll try to explain some of the stuff that they've been teasing that they'll probably deal with in season 2. I'll also have some Batman related comic suggestions that you guys should read in the off season while we wait for season 2 to come back. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, starting with top 5 moments. Number 5, Gordon kills the ogre to save Barbara. The man was a confirmed psychopath. I mean, he made her quiche the morning after a booty call. There's no way he was going to survive to season 2. All jokes aside though, I wasn't a huge fan of the execution of the villain. In theory, it was like this crazy 50 Shades of Grey plot line that they didn't really follow through on. And it kind of threw Barbara under the bus. Typically, like the really awesome female characters solve their own problems. Barbara never quite got to that level this season. So maybe in season 2 they can course correct the character and she'll have like her own storyline that isn't dependent upon her relationship with Gordon. If you're a big fan of the Bechdel test, Barbara definitely fails hardcore. That's just a way of judging female characters in film, but you can apply it to other stories too. I don't know if they're planning on keeping Leslie Tompkins on for season 2. I hope they do because Marina Baccarin is amazing. But if they don't, then Barbara, as of right now, will only exist if she's in a relationship with Gordon. So they need to give her something to do that has nothing to do with Gordon. As much as a WTF is having the ogre kill her parents was, her parents really weren't characters. We didn't really spend that much time with them. We visited them, I think maybe like once this season, and maybe I missed something, but I have no idea why she hates them so much that she would name them to the ogre, like the same way Arya names people at Harrenhal for Jack and Hagar to kill. It was a very Game of Thrones type of situation. Name someone for me to kill, and I will kill them. Very interesting idea, but the problem is that the characters that the ogre killed weren't really characters. They were mostly props in human form. Once Gordon kind of slaps some sense into Barbara at the end too, it almost seemed like she just automatically deprogrammed. So I'm not really sure how that transition's going to go. There might be some after effects. I still feel like she's going to be a little bit brainwashed going into season 2. The only time I get really upset with episodes is when it drops storylines like that. Like Barbara was clearly brainwashed in this episode, so if we pick up next week in the finale and she's just automatically back to baseline, I'll be a little bit upset. Nobody goes from crazy to normal in like the span of a week. On to number 4, the Penguin starts a war between Maroni and Falcone. They've been rolling really hard on this mob war plotline, so I'll be glad once they get past it and they can have the Penguin moving into more of like a mastermind role. He's been kind of a bystander this season. That's why he's trying to get rid of his superiors. And if you're wondering who to root for, like the next week's promo actually positions Falcone as something of a protagonist. He has this line where he's like, "Gotham needs a dark hero that I can't be." It's right out of Dark Knight where Gordon is talking to Batman saying, Gotham needs a Dark Knight. The twist is that on Gotham on the TV show, Gordon's going to fill that role. They want to go with an edgier version of Gordon on the TV show, which I'm totally down with. The only thing I would have rather they not included was that moment at the end of the episode where Gordon talked to Leslie Tompkins about saving her first versus Barbara. It felt a little unnecessary and kind of took the characters in a sideways direction. They want to reinforce the idea that Gordon feels responsible for everyone. He's like the most responsible person in the police station. But he is a human being. I mean, people fall in love, fall out of love with characters. Realistically, he'd be concerned about Barbara, but he wouldn't be obsessed with Leslie Tompkins' perception of his relationship with Barbara. That's like high school bullshit. I think one of the most fun parts of this Gordon storyline this week was when he sent Bullock into that S&M club. It's like a Stanley Kubrick Eyes Wide Shut moment on Gotham, where like they start this pig show and all of a sudden Bullock just goes, "Nope, not having it." That's a really good example of the show going way over the top and it totally working in a funny way. I totally love it when Gotham does that. Other really good examples of that are like the Riddler scenes, like when he's just like pounding the watermelon last week. Moving on to number 3, Bruce meets Bunderslaw and Lucius Fox for the first time. Let's just do this in chronological order. So he runs into Bunderslaw, and Bunderslaw gives him this very Court of Owls type speech. Big organization with its tendrils in all aspects of humanity, some not so nice. They layer in this multi-generational aspect to it where Bruce's father got the same speech. This is really where they start teasing Court of Owls type stuff. They haven't gone there this season, but I really hope they get into it in season 2, season 3. It's just like a really easy home run for the show to deliver on. Court of Owls, one of the best Batman comic stories ever. So clearly he's like the evil board member that Bruce is going to have to defeat at some point, just like in Batman Begins. Young Lucius Fox, though, is a lot of fun. He's going to be like Bruce's friend on the inside. The real importance of their conversation, the conversation with Lucius, is that he lets Bruce know that his father kept a lot of secrets, meaning he was kind of like a proto-Batman in his own right. they'll probably rope that back in with their murders, like Thomas and Martha Wayne murdered because Thomas was trying to conduct a secret shadow war against the corruption inside Wayne Enterprises. Moving on to number 2, Bruce finds a secret room behind the fireplace. You can think of this as like proto-Batcave. He'll probably find like a bunch of his father's notes, the secret mission that he was on to take down the bad people in Wayne Enterprises. This will all be season 2 stuff, so we'll probably get inside that room next week, and then we can spend most of next season digging through everything that his father did. I feel like this is a really good direction. It's like a very Gotham Academy device, where you have this Hogwarts-type mansion with secret rooms that you just haven't discovered yet. Seriously, if you guys haven't been reading Gotham Academy, that's one of my big recommendations for comics to read in the off-season. If you're a big Harry Potter fan, you will love Gotham Academy. And my number 1 WTF moment, the Riddler hides the policeman's body and leaves a big clue. The important distinction to make here is that he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was being good in getting rid of the policeman. He was physically abusing Miss Kringle, so he confronted him. There was an accident. It's not his fault. That's probably the math that's going on inside his head right now. He was trying to be a hero and fell way short of the mark. Accidental death is now the new leading cause of nervous laughter on Gotham. There are a couple logical places they can take Nigma and Kringle from here. Nigma can continue to do things like this, do good things and find himself in accidental situations and take care of them in gruesome ways. Or he can come clean to Miss Kringle and they can move forward. It'll definitely blow up in his face at some point, but I feel like it's too much fun letting him get away with stuff like this, just leaving clues, until finally he leaves a clue that's so big that he gets caught. Right now, all of his good character moments are coming from this Miss Kringle storyline, so I do think in season 2 that they'll try to expand on that. The terrible things that he will end up doing will be tied to other plot lines. I am really hoping we see some more intersecting Batman villains too. Like you had that Riddler Penguin scene earlier this season, just like more different odd combinations of characters. Here's my big question for you guys. What do you think is going to end up happening with this Kringle Nigma storyline, and which other villains do you want to see Nigma interact with? They've already said they're bringing Victor Freeze on in season 2, so I'm really looking forward to a Nigma Mr. Freeze storyline. They're both such analytical characters, I feel like they would work really well together, even if it's only briefly. I think I've addressed most of my issues with the episode. I am a little disappointed that they rolled so hard on this ogre storyline. I mean, they essentially spent almost all of the episodes since we came back from the break with the ogre, like revolving around this storyline to take him down. Definitely not doing Barbara's character any favors, putting her in this sex torture dungeon and making her faint all over the place. I'm a little surprised that Tumblr isn't more outraged with the treatment of her character. But you guys can let me know whether you agree. Do you want to see Barbara become a stronger character? If they're going to keep her on the show, I feel like she has to be. So a new episode of Gotham next week. Be sure to subscribe to get my video. There's also a new episode of The Flash tonight, so I'll post that video after it airs. There was some really cool new Arrow and Flash footage. I'll address those in my Flash and Arrow videos this week. While you guys wait for all that stuff to post, you can click here to catch up on The Flash this week, and you can click here for all my other Gotham videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.